All right, I'm on today to talk about another topic, which is non-consensual fantasies. So I am talking about that RAPE word right here. If you do not know, over 60% of women have these kinds of fantasies. Frequently, they're super, super common. And I think there's some misconceptions about it because they are so common. The thing about fantasies in general is that they are fantasies. They are not reality. And I think sometimes that component gets lost a lot in the conversations about it. Now, as humans, we are designed to try to make sense of everything. This is what keeps us safe in the world. So if we have a dream that is disturbing or exciting or something where we wake up and remember it, we will try to make sense of the dream. But the thing about it is that it is a fantasy. It is a dream. It is not something that is actually real and happening. And when it comes to sexual fantasies, that's what they are. They are fantasies. And one thing about fantasies or movies or books is they're not reality. If you've ever watched porn and you've had sex before, you know that porn is not like sex unless it's amateur and they're recording themselves. In general, what you see on the screen is missing a whole bunch of setup and lighting and communication and talking to try to get to the right scene for it to look the way it looks on the screen. Now, in our fantasies, we do the same thing. We're not concerned with all the prep work and all the different little components to it. Now, one of the techniques I use in my coaching businesses is to help people identify what is coming up from them, either in a dream or in a memory. Because a lot of times it's not like the why is this happening? There's 5 million reasons why things happen, but it's really about what do you do now? Like now that this has happened and or come up or you had this fantasy, like what do you do with it? And I think that's the part that often gets missing from it. So if you take that lens and look at, okay, this is the fantasy. What is it trying to actually tell me? Not like, why am I having this fantasy? But the key is in that. What is this fantasy trying to tell me? So most of the time when I talk through with people and we kind of dissect like what is happening here, if it's a dream in particular, this is a little bit easier. What were you feeling in the dream? You were feeling like excitement, you weren't feeling scared. If you really break it down, like their fantasies, you do feel in control because you actually are, because it's your fantasy. And that is the thing about these kinds of fantasies that people overlook. One thing that we do know, like from the research that's out there and available, is that most people are really stressed and have a lot of things to control in their life. And there's a whole bunch of moving parts. And especially women who feel like they always have to be in control when they're having fantasies about the ultimately not being in control, they are actually being safe. It is, once again, it is a fantasy. It's not real. But what you can take away from these fantasies is that idea that think about what is it that you are actually experiencing in the fantasy that does actually excite you. So if you can create that container of safety, and then if you have a partner or partners and you want to act out some of these scenes, that's called consensual non-consent. And it's a real thing because it is consensual non-consent. It is an opportunity to safely enact fantasies and desires that people have in a way that is not harmful to people and is actually safe. And so if you are one of the people that has had these fantasies and you're wondering like, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep fantasizing about it? You are not alone. You are the vast majority of people, and there is nothing wrong with wanting to take a break and relinquish control and let your body experience pleasure. Hope that helps.